Hey everyone, how you all doing? Alright. Thanks for being here. Okay, nice. Hope you're all doing great on this nice Friday. Alright. I'm a bit still on the setup just because I literally just got home like 3 minutes ago. So let me just prepare this. I think everything is good. I actually don't know if Unity themselves are doing anything on the Game Jam on their own channel. I don't know if they are announcing this on a live stream or not. Are they live right now? I guess not. Okay. Oh, there you go. Oh, it's a video. They've premiered the video. Okay, so that's interesting. Premieres in 4 minutes. All right. So I'm curious to see what this one won't be like. Themes for game jams are always quite interesting. So yeah, you can always interpret them in many different ways. Let me just make sure everything is good. The other side. Wait, where's my... Oh, right. I've got my chat right here. Okay. So yeah, how you all doing? How many of you are going to be joining the jam? I mean, I haven't done a game jam in like... wait a second. Am I... Okay, yeah, everything's good. I haven't done a game jam in like 3 years. 2 years, 3 years, something like that. So yeah, it's been a very long time. So yeah, it's gonna be fun to join this one, and it should be interesting. So yeah, hey everyone, how you all doing? All right. Theme is going to be nostalgic style. Okay, since Unity is turning 20, maybe that's it. And actually, oh, I have no water. Live chat. Well, let's see, because it's a public live stream, so I wonder if live chat is going to be too spammy. But for now, yep, let's do that. Yeah. 17, what are you doing when you were my age? What was I doing when I was 17? Well, I guess at 17 I was in high school, right? So yeah, I wasn't doing too much. Just in high school. I was actually on the like high school with a couple of things for I don't know how to say it. Like programming related courses, lectures, things. So it wasn't the general one. I went for the special one for programming, which is actually quite fun considering how I started programming when I was 10 years old. So by the time that I went into high school, they were basically teaching the basics of what is a variable, what is a function, and so on. Whereas I already had like almost 10 years of experience by the time I reached that point. So yeah, when I got to that, thankfully those classes were very easy. So I always got max grade on those programming related things at high school. So that was great because that, you know, lifted up my average by a little bit. So that was quite fun. So yeah, that was interesting. That was also a lifetime ago, considering how, yeah, high school was 20 years ago for me. So yeah, that was quite a long time. Premieres in 2 minutes. Okay, let's see, in 2 minutes. Game Jam, are you going to stream? I don't know. I would like to live stream as much as possible, but at the same time, it's always the issue. I'm definitely not, I am not a live streamer. I am not capable of talking on a microphone for 12 hours straight. So yeah, we'll see. Basically, I will stream as much as my voice allows me. So yeah, I will try to do as much as possible. But yeah, today should be interesting. Basically doing some brainstorming on the Game Jam theme, trying to figure out what can I do. So yeah, that should be interesting. Yeah. Yeah, so many of you here already 118 viewers. Yeah, thank you so much for being here on this random live stream on a Friday. Thank you. Okay, I really need to wait for the theme to be announced so I can get up and grab some water. Because yeah, that was something, yeah. Well, since 2017, I was 14 years old. Now I'm a game dev 3D artist. I'm about to go get my AI engineering masters. Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, thanks for watching for so long. I'm glad the videos have helped you. That's a great journey. So yeah, that is definitely quite fun. Yeah. I need to focus on all genres as game dev. You don't need to, but when you're learning, I definitely encourage you spend more time making things, making multiple genres. I definitely recommend you do that as opposed to just making basically one game. So that is why I'm a big fan of small games, especially when you're starting. If you make a prototype on all kinds of different genres, that is going to give you quite a lot of skills, quite a lot of knowledge. Okay, so this one, 60 seconds. Why is that not updating? I guess the issue is going to be with, yeah, because I don't have headphones. So I'm basically going to have to mute my microphone when that one starts playing so I can hear it myself. Otherwise I won't be able to hear. So I'm guessing there's some kind of sound. So I guess when this one starts, I'll mute my microphone so I can hear myself. Begin shortly. Okay, when is the shortly? Official game jam. Have they ever made an official jam? Actually, I don't know. I don't remember if Unity themselves have organized a game jam, so yeah. It should be interesting, yeah. Okay, waiting. Someone's counting down seconds. How are you counting down seconds? I'm not seeing anything. Are you counting down seconds until 5 p.m.? What time is it? Okay, so 6 seconds. Is that it? Let's see. 1 second. Is it? Is it? Go on. Go on. Update. Okay. Waiting. All right. I'm very curious what it... Oh, there you go. Okay, so they still got a timer. Hey, John, thank you so much. Thanks for the super chat. That's on nominations. Thank you for making wholesome, free educational content. Thank you. Thank you all for watching the videos. Thanks, John, for the super chat. And yeah, I make the videos because all of you watch them. So yeah, keep watching them, and I will keep making them. Wait, is this saying 4:25? So it's 5 minutes? Okay, that's a bit annoying. Okay, all right, okay. Is it really going to be 4 minutes? Okay, let's see. Oh, Joy is on live chat. Never set up a YouTube premiere before. Okay. So yeah, I guess she figured she could launch it 5 minutes before, but yeah. So okay, so 5 minutes. Which, by the way, yeah, like John was saying, the Unity Awards were announced. Awards at unity.com. Which I actually wanted to start this live stream a bit earlier so that I could go through the awards, which would be fun. But yeah, I was actually at an event, so I basically ran back home as quickly as possible, and I got back home just in time for the game jam, so I wasn't able to see this. But yeah, the Unity Awards, they were announced. Lots of really awesome games, so yeah, you can go ahead and vote. So yeah, maybe after they announce the theme, maybe I'll go through this, and we can already vote. Oh wow, nice, yeah. I haven't voted yet, so yeah, I'll look at the nominees. There were a bunch of interesting things, but yeah, definitely wanna vote, because yeah, there's something like that. Best desktop console game, Silksong. Is Silksong gonna win? That's gonna be interesting. Yeah, all of these are really cool. Void Crew, that's awesome. Most anticipated game, Endless Legend, Jump Space. Okay, all of these look quite nice. Golden Cube Awards, Baby Steps, that's fun. Blueprints over there, okay. And for the Asset Store, Best Artistic Content. All a bunch of different things. Yeah, with the awards page, it's actually a bit easier because it actually has images of the things. Best Artistic Tool, Own One 3D Shader. That one's awesome. I really like it. Best Development Tool, look at that. Mine is actually nominated. So that's fun. That's going to be interesting. Breakthrough Publishers. A lot of people. Okay. And Honda Motor Company. So that's an interesting breakthrough publisher. Publisher of the Year, IT Happy, Connect, Photon Engine, lots of awesome things. Education, Best Student Project, a bunch of them, okay, nice. Then for the community, got 4 nominations, I think I got 3. Best Devlog Series, lots of interesting devlogs. Live Streamer, I got a nomination there, which is awesome, yeah. And Lana as well. And Best Eternal Series, nice, yeah, Speedtutor as well, Get the Mend, which is awesome, yeah. Unity Choice Awards. Oh yeah, the Unity Choice Awards. So yeah, I guess I got 3, 4. Oh yeah, I guess 4 counting the. Oh yeah, awesome. So yeah, I don't even know the total amount. So yeah, that's fun. Yeah. In Portuguese, your friend from Brazil. Actually, just a while ago, I was at. Wait, what time is it? Okay, it's on 1 minute. I was at DevGam just a while ago. Very nice, very fun event. It was my first time going, so yeah, it was interesting. Spoke to a lot of Brazilian people over the past few years. Definitely a lot of Brazilian devs. So yeah, this was a fun event. Definitely enjoyed going there. It's always interesting to go to these events to meet people in real life, considering how usually I'm just by myself over here on my monitor, on my screen. So yeah, it's nice to sometimes go to events like these and basically see people in real life. That is always a fun thing. So yeah. For Silksong, yeah, I imagine most people are going to vote for Silksong. That is going to be interesting. How many hours do you plan on using out of the 48? Decent amount, but a healthy amount. I'm definitely not going to be crunching. I'm not going to be working 40 hours straight. No, I'm I'm no longer young enough to do that. So nope, I won't be doing a decent amount of hours to make a decent game. But yeah, definitely not gonna push it way too hard. But yeah, okay, on that. So 30 seconds left. All right, so we're finally going to see what is the theme. Is going to be nostalgia? Is that gonna be it? We shall see. 20 seconds. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for that. I really gotta, gotta wait for them to announce so I can go drink some water because I'm empty. Okay, 9 seconds. I'm gonna mute myself so I can hear.
Welcome to the launch of the official Unity 20th Anniversary Game Jam. But what's a game jam without its theme? So it's time to announce the theme for the Unity 20th Anniversary Game Jam. The theme is Timeless. Timeless can be defined as not affected by the passage of time or changes in fashion, or not restricted to a particular time or date. But don't let those definitions limit you. What does timeless mean to you? What comes to your mind when you think of the word timeless? And how would you create game mechanics, visuals, audio, or game design that really reflects the timeless theme to you? Well, it's time to find out. Good luck and happy jamming. Excited to see what you all create during the Unity 20th Anniversary Game Jam.
Okay, timeless. All right. Okay, so that's gonna be interesting. Huh, timeless. Okay, that can definitely be interpreted in many different ways. It can simply be a game without a time limit, sure. 5 minute wait was not timeless. Nope, that was definitely quite a bit of time. Okay, so the jam theme is timeless. All right.
Welcome.
I'll put that there. There you go, timeless. So, how do you interpret timeless? Maybe it could be a game with like resources, like a resource management game, and time is your resource, and you're trying to run out of time, trying to spend time, or sure, you can make a game where you just put delta time 0. There you go. That would be timeless. Okay. But your conversion system is timeless. Yeah, many things can be timeless. Yeah. Hey, Mauricia. Hey, how's it going? Nice. Yeah. So that could also be just something to do with time. Just our phone is giving echo. Is it? Or is it because when I was unmuted? Okay. Okay. Is there a late? Wait. What? Are you hearing echo? How are you hearing echo? What the? Okay, one of my tabs is my stream on it. Wait, what? Why did it? Okay. Okay, so basically this, it stopped, it auto, and apparently auto played my own, okay. All right, okay, so that's interesting, yeah. Yeah, but I wasn't on this tab, I was on, I was on the Unity live stream, okay. So apparently it just randomly went from the Unity live stream to my own live stream, okay. Anyways, so yeah, just YouTube algorithm doing its own things, okay. So timeless. Something like the movie In Time, that time becomes your life. That's actually interesting. That movie, I've never seen it, but I've seen a bunch of clips of it on YouTube Shorts. And it's definitely a very interesting concept. The concept of time being your currency. And you spend time and you gain time. Okay. Okay, if I made time slow or something, or it's supposed to become only no time. You can interpret the theme in any way you want. That's very much, it's very, very broad. So yeah, you can interpret, like for example, Groundhog Day. That could be timeless. You can have just a day that resets every single time. That could be timeless. So yeah, you can kind of try to do that. Maybe a game in which the art changes according to its area. Honestly, that was my very first thought. Making a game like that is set like in prehistoric times and in like I don't know, like Roman times, Greek times, then Victorian times and modern times. That was the first thing that came to my head. But of course, whenever thinking about a game jam, always keep in mind of what exactly are your strengths and weaknesses, and that kind of idea of making different art style for different things. Obviously, that would be a very heavy idea. So nope, definitely not the kind of thing that I can do. But yeah, definitely an interesting thing. Yeah, ability to play with time. Yep, definitely you can have some kind of rewind mechanic that could be interesting. I'm doing great, thank you. Yeah, not participate because I have no time. Yep, there you go. That can also be a way to interpret it. So it could be a roguelike because you can have, because those basically don't have time. You just have. Where is this? Okay. I do like the idea of time, doing something with time as a currency. I do like that. I think that could be interesting. Something that could have currency. Are you going to be using dots for this? No, definitely not. I mean, dots is awesome. I love dots, but for a 48-hour game jam, no, I'm going to use the tried and tested method of game objects. That one works really nice. It's already solid, stable. So yeah, definitely going to keep with that. Yeah. Go for the game jam. That would be fun, but yeah, trying to organize that would be a little bit tricky. So yeah. Okay, so I really do like the idea of using time as a currency, something like that. So you can. So the goal would kind of be to avoid being timeless. So the goal is to avoid running out of time. So something with resources using time. So it could be like some kind of survival resource gathering game or some kind of factory automation game. Something where you have like machines gathering time, and then time is a currency that you can spend to like buy more machines. But if you spend too much time at once, you can basically end up going bankrupt with time. Okay, I think I like that idea. Let me actually get a pen and paper to start writing down something. I don't think I have paper here. Got a bunch of notebooks, but I think they're all filled. So no. Where do I have paper? About super hot with time currency to accomplish the task. That is a good idea. Yeah, super hot is actually a great one to take ideas from, considering how it's a very nice game. And yeah, I do like, actually, yeah, since I'm live on a stream, actually it would probably be better. What is the, can anyone tell me what is a good online web-based whiteboard? Web whiteboard. I know there's a bunch of websites, but I don't know which one is something like this. I'm gonna go randomly to the first one that I see. Canva Figma, is that online? And I've never used Figma. I know of it, but do I have to log in? Actually, I mean, this one seems to be... Can I just draw things? Okay, if I can just draw things, then I guess this would be easiest. Okay, so timeless. Doesn't bolt. There you go. Okay. How do I move this object? Just... Oh, nice. I can drag things. Oh, that's cool. Okay, anyways. So I do like time as currency. I do like that idea. I think that's potentially good. So something like a factory automation game. How do I... There you go. Some kind of factory automation game. Gather time, resources, spend time to build and upgrade things. Then if you spend too much, you run out of time and go bankrupt. Okay, I think that could be an interesting one. Let me actually get some water. Time load engines. That's interesting. I do like this idea, at least, starting with like using time as resource. That is the thing that is more appealing with me. Time cops and robbers. Okay. Like minute or chrono quartz, where you have limited moves or limited time. Okay, that's interesting. That is also good. You've got unlimited time to do something. That is also a good interpretation of it. Okay. You need to fix a time machine. Okay. Time is like past versus present. Alright. Like satire. Like story in which you have all the wealth but no time. That's interesting. Okay, for a more story-focused thing, that could be an interesting one. Quick decision-taking game, which grants you time or costs you time for above. So risk management, quick thinking, start building, and cool visual feedback. Okay. Time you give a machine is how long the loop is. Conveyor needs time, seconds, unit of length. Okay. And second, when machine produces 10 things and stops. Okay. An engineer fixing a machine is great. So at WM. Oh, nice. So opportunity for a picture. Oh, maybe next time. Yeah, great. Yeah. Met quite a lot of people at WM, so that was fun. Yeah, that was a nice, fun event. Yeah. Timeless causing machine. So I do like the idea of time as currency. So I do like the idea of like something kind of like shape as. Where in shape, okay, it's not that, it's that shape as on Steam, yeah. You like the idea of something like this, like a factory automation game, which maybe I'm being too optimistic, making a factory automation game in 48 hours. Maybe that's a little bit optimistic, but okay. Because something like this, where this one is basically building shapes, so I'm thinking something where you basically mine some resource which give you time. And then you spend time. So you started with a certain amount of time. So like start with certain amount of time. Gather from time stones to get more time. Spend time to build machines and upgrades. So I'm basically writing the same thing that I've already written, but yeah. Okay, so can I draw? So like there's like a bunch of rocks all over the place. Then I've got some kind of gatherer machine. So this machine goes here, gather some rocks, and each of those has like plus 1 second, and then time is constantly counting down. So I've got some kind of clock over here, and the clock is constantly counting down. And as time goes down, that one gathers more seconds, and basically I need to use conveyor belts to feed it back into the clock. So the clock goes over here, and basically that one, as soon as those add, in this case, for example, is 1 second. Okay. Okay. I guess the question with this design is how do you increase something like the difficulty? Because if you've got like, if time is going down at a constant rate of 1 per second, then it's not really going to be very difficult, or it's hard to manage the difficulty if the difficulty is pretty much static. If it's constantly going down just 1 second per second. So I guess maybe we could have like, have like a risk-reward mechanic where it starts counting down time faster than 1 per second. I think you're building things in order might require you to adjust time each building component or conveyor belt takes. Okay, so yeah, taking time to build things. Okay. With time or the time stops. Yeah, so basically that one. Okay, time is currency in the sense that stuff can only move if you spend currency to make it move. Otherwise it's paused, including gravity. Okay, that could also be an interesting idea. Yeah, basically something like super hot, but you have a currency. Whereas in super hot you can move as much as you want, but yeah, it could be something where you can like, yeah, that could be an interesting idea as well. Basically you've got something like super hot and you have budget for how much time you think it's going to take you to beat that level. And then you basically say, okay, I'm going to beat this level in 30 seconds. And if you go in, shoot everybody in 30 seconds. If you keep some extra time, maybe get a bonus. Okay, that could also be an interesting idea. So yeah, I honestly, okay. I think I want to go with something more factory-based, but no, I do think that could be interesting. So yeah, something like super hot. You define how much time do you think you need to take to build that, to finish that level. So you shoot all the bad guys, do that, and if you make it within time, you win. If you make it with less time, you either lose or spend more time than you actually have. Okay. Time mechanics from Braid. Yep, you can definitely do something with rewind time. That was also what I thought. In terms of being timeless, yeah, you can rewind time a little bit, okay. Could reverse the idea and move to slow the time. Okay. Jump path to get through time zones before the sun comes up. Okay, that's clever, alright. Where time makes machine run for amount of seconds. You have to match and load machines long enough to match our timings. Okay, interesting. Okay, that could be interesting. Okay, let me think. So instead of... Okay, so I do like this core concept. I do like the idea of trying to make some kind of factory automation game. Honestly, I like it more as a personal challenge. Just thinking to myself, can I build a factory automation game, a small one, a very small one, in just 48 hours? I'm not sure, but I think that's a fun personal challenge. So I'm thinking, how exactly do I put the design over here? So basically I've got some rocks that I can mine for some time, and different rocks have different amounts of time. Maybe I've got like different resource types, like different clocks. Okay. The thing that I'm thinking is about the time counting down. I guess that is the one thing that I'm still questioning. How exactly do I make, because if time goes down by 1 per second, then I just have to add more than 1 per second, and all of a sudden, basically the game has no challenge, nothing else. I guess maybe there could be also some resources that instead of adding time, they reduce time. Okay, I think I'm having an interesting idea. Maybe time as the herb could be a unique theme. Hey, that's a very fun interpretation on the theme. Yeah. make something like a flower or vegetable themed cooking game, and somehow the goal is to not use time. Okay, that's a fun idea. That's fun. Yeah, to find the core loop, what is the end goal you're trying to produce? Yep, that's a very good one. I'm not sure. Can you steal time? Okay, that's an interesting mechanic. I like it. Of many games have you made your own lifetime? A lot. In Flash games, I made like 40 of them. Then in Steam games, I've made 9. And in random prototypes, I don't know, maybe like 50 more. So yeah, quite a lot. Yeah. Use like a flow where you have, for example, 2 or 3 lines where you go through those lines and you can go back to some scenes in the past. Okay, you could definitely make a game kind of like a split time zones, split timelines. And the goal could be basically to merge those. Okay, could be interesting. But the game minute resets after 60 seconds. Yep, that is a great one. That one, but it's a factory game. Okay, okay, that's an interesting idea. That could be interesting. So basically in 1 minute, you try to gather as many resources as possible. Honestly, I like that idea. Because I did enjoy that game Minute, for those of you who don't know. That's a really awesome game. I really enjoyed playing it. It sounds really simple, but it's actually very, very clever. So if you haven't played it, I definitely recommend. I mean, very positive reviews, so people definitely love it. It's basically a full-on RPG where each thing really just takes 1 minute. But of course, you get more abilities, develop more shortcuts, so in 1 minute, in the beginning, you can only do a little bit, then you can do more and more. So I do like the concept of 1 minute. Basically, you've got 1 minute to make the best factory in the world. And then, of course, you've got meta progressions for every single round that changes. Okay. Okay, that could also be an interesting one. So, let's see. So, let me write here. So, round-based 1 minute. Kind of like minute. It's minute, right? Yeah, that's the name. Try to build the biggest factory in 1 minute. Long-term meta upgrades to improve your factory. Gather as much as possible. Maybe some special resources remain between runs. Okay, that could also be an interesting idea. Could be an interesting idea. Participating game jam, still in the ideation phase. Yep, there you go. Yep, it just started right now. So yeah, definitely thinking about, definitely quite a lot of awesome ideas, all of you in chat. So I hope some of you are writing these down. Some of you are going to build these, because yeah, there's definitely quite a lot of interesting game ideas. Yeah. In a puzzle game where you have limited moves to reach the goal, but in this case using factory elements like belts and fabricators. That's also an interesting one. I mean, I suck at puzzle games, so I'm definitely not going to be making a puzzle game just because it would be way too easy for most people because I suck at them, but that would be an interesting one. Okay. Make the optimal machine to produce requirement in time. The progression could be you build time with your factory, spend time to buy upgrades between rounds, like that mining minigame you streamed. Oh, okay, I like that. Yeah, so basically in 1 minute, you try to... Yeah, so instead of... Okay. So in 1 minute, basically try to gather as many resources as possible and use those to buy meta upgrades. And of course, the game resets after 1 minute. Okay. Honestly, all of you have really great ideas. Okay, so I'm trying to think. Okay. So yeah, basically doing a bunch of brainstorming, but yeah, at some point I have to decide on one idea. I'm definitely decided that I want something factory-based. That is one thing. Okay, I want it to be factory-based, and of course it has to be related to timelessness in something. Spend time money to extend the round past 60 seconds. That is good. That is good. I mean, to run my game. Yeah, it's definitely hard to make a gem and a game at the same time. That is definitely tricky. Yeah. Clockmaker, you must make sure you keep them wound up. Okay. If you kill enemies to increase your time, if it runs out, you die. Yep, you can definitely do a more action type game with that kind of mechanic. I think that could be interesting. There's plenty of designs you could do with that. Something more action focused, either action or some kind of like shooter. And you know, basically your ammunition is your time. So every enemy you kill, you basically get a little bit more time to finish the level. That could be an interesting idea. So yeah, if any of you are going for more of a action-focused game, that could be interesting, yeah. Game takes place over the course of one day, and you fail at the end of the day, but time resets and you keep all the upgrades. Yeah, doing something like Groundhog Day, I do think that's a very interesting interpretation of this theme that could go well. Okay. And this is a game idea, make it split screen. Okay, that is... I highly recommend you don't do multiplayer in a 48-hour game jam. Even if it's split screen, that is going to be super tricky. So yeah, definitely do not do not recommend you go for multiplayer, because that is going to be very, very tricky. Arcade fighting game in which the time health of the enemy and it is infinite, so you need to spam one button as fast as you can to win. Yeah, I guess you could go for more like quick time events things. Okay, let me stop the thing for a little bit. I do want it factory based. Okay, so if I'm going to have factories, I'm going to gather some resources, and I'm going, I guess these resources over here, these would be, let's say, time crystals. Okay, so you've got some time crystals, you gather them, and they give you something. But then you need to have something. You can't have the timer just going down at a constant rate. That doesn't work. Basically, as the factory grows, it needs to basically increase the risk to make it quite a bit more tricky. So you need like some other resource type. I do like the idea of perhaps like balancing. So like one resource gives you time, one resource takes away time, and you're basically constantly growing both of them as much as possible whilst not going bankrupt. So you can't grow the one that goes. So like you've got some other kind of crystals, something else. And yeah, you've got other machine that also harvest those other crystals, and those also go there, except these do -1 second, something like that. So you've got some resources add time, some resources subtract time. And basically the idea is having to increase both of them without increasing one way too much than the other one. What costs time? Each round increases count speed but upgrades to balance difficulty. Because I also like the round-based 1 minute. Although perhaps 1 minute might be, well, no, I was gonna say 1 minute might be a little bit too much, just because games like that, like the one, what is it called? Oh, I forgot the name. I'm totally blanking out on the name. What was the name of the game that I played? Oh god, I gotta go on the live stream to remember what the name of it was. What oh god, does anyone remember? The game about digging rocks. Yes, the mining game. Oh god, why can't I remember it? No, not Philip the Hole, the other one. Oh crap. Let me open up my other live stream, try to see if I remember that one. Okay, I'm opening up. No, that's Philip the Hole. It's the other live stream. Game about... No, it's not that one. No, that was also fun. But, no. Trying to browse my own live stream. Keep on mining. That's it. Oh boy, that totally... keep on mining. So this one was definitely interesting. So, but this one has rounds that are like literally just 10-15 seconds long. So But on a mining game, obviously, on a factory automation game, you can't do that. But I do like that idea. I do like the idea of like an incremental mining game, incremental factory automation game. But obviously, if you're going to be building something, you can't really destroy a factory after just 10 seconds, because then it becomes, the iteration speed becomes way too fast. Definitely needs to. So yeah, I do think. Okay. Okay, I do like these concepts, round-based. I guess I'm just trying to think, would it be annoying to have a game kind of like that, a game kind of like Minute, where basically it resets on every single minute? So would it be annoying to have to build the same factory every single minute? I'm thinking that might be a problem with the design, is that building things would become very annoying. You're constantly building and constantly destroying things, whereas part of the appeal of factory games that you are building upon the world. Could you have some kind of reset that does not necessarily involve destroying everything? Character's life in currency is time in seconds. In time inspired, but in order to progress, you have to gather information from NPCs that have run out of time. Well, in yours. Okay. Hey, that could be an interesting idea. Some kind of like RPG detective kind of game. All about, yeah, trying to convince others. So kind of like a talking game where you convince others to give you their time. Okay, that could be an interesting one, yeah. Factory automation game where the conveyor belts form a circular clock-like shape and times the resource on the center. Okay, so basically, okay, that could be interesting. For mechanic, you can spend your mind time crystals on production or increasing the time length, so as long as you automate, you can go for longer. Okay. Sure. Bring the machine. Yes, so something like that. But the upgrades. I guess the thing about the factory resets, that's kind of the thing that I'm trying to think. For the factory idea, you can use a factory template from the store and build on top of it. Is that allowed? Technically, yes, although, yeah, you can use whatever code and assets you want, but me personally, yeah, I'm just going to build most of it from scratch. I mean, if it's grid-based, I'm going to be using my own grid system, but other than that, yeah, I'm not going to be using a game maker sort of thing. Mechanic, the factory resets each minute, but you have to manually bank time crystals for meta upgrades until you can automate them. Okay. The previous factory is locked, so you make a new factory, but the old one still exists. Oh, okay. Honestly, I like that idea. So basically, on every single round, you could have basically lose access to the factory, but it still exists. It is still doing something. So I do like the idea that on these kinds of round-based games, usually you can't you don't have memory of the previous round. So I do like the idea of having like being able to see, oh, this was the first iteration. I made this very basic factory, and now on iteration number 100, I'm making a very interesting factory. I don't like that idea. I don't like the idea of maybe old factories stay around as a record of the player's playtime. The clock to progress. I need to repeat it every minute to continue, but the complexity increases. Okay, that could also be a thing. So, so basically, you've got 1 minute to try to build something, and I guess that could actually be an interesting way of handling difficulty. Basically, you've got to build different things, and you've got like the first level, you build something very simple. Okay, you go on to the next level, which again resets. You've got 1 minute. Now you've got to build something more complex. And if you fail, basically just retry that level. Basically, the goal is to constantly try to improve. Okay. If the old factory persists, it still works, but you can't upgrade, change, or remove it. You just build around it. Oh, okay. I do like that idea, although I'm thinking it might become too complex, because after you've gone through like 30 iterations, so after you play for like 30 minutes, you've got like 30 factories on top of factories, and you basically end up with no space anywhere. Huh. Okay. Factories lose the ability to increase productivity, but new factories have higher outputs. Factories adding negative to the time, so the new one has to outperform it. Oh, okay, that's an interesting concept. So kind of like the old factories that you make, they kind of become your opponents on the next run. There's timer going down. You gotta make resource to add to it. If it goes down to 0, the factory shuts down. Yeah, I do want the time to not go down. Okay, let me think. I do like the idea of round base. I do like that. Short factories run down over time. Okay, there could also be some kind of maintenance required, and basically they do get destroyed over time. You build across time, so you have to build out of order. Factories still contribute, but you have to keep building new ones. Okay, maybe the factory is fully upgraded, but mines, though some time core that breaks time, you have to groundhog day back to downgrade the factory to save it. Okay, so every round you have like a different goal. Each iteration, the previous factory decreases time instead of increasing it, forcing you to invest in meta progression. I do think that one could be interesting. So basically you are basically fighting against yourself, the previous iteration of yourself. I do think that could be interesting, although I wonder that might be a little bit too difficult. Because you are basically, the better you are, the harder you're making it for yourself for the next. So I think that could be interesting for some like competitive game. But I think over here I want this to be a little bit more casual. So that is definitely an interesting idea. Basically fighting against yourself from the past. That could be interesting. In each iteration, get the resources the old factory was making. All around it makes buildings timeless, and meta skill is how to make better choice in limited space like Factorio. Start base versus second base. Oh, I do like that idea. That is interesting. Because yeah, it does make the buildings timeless if they never disappear, if they always just stay there. This thing about persistence, yeah, I'm just thinking of how crowded the game will be after 30 minutes. So yeah, they can definitely have some kind of decay mechanics, so at most there's only like 5 factories at once. But still, if you've got like 5 conveyor belts all over the place, even just 5 of them, they're going to be very busy. Let's switch on the NT Wars. Thank you, thank you. NT Wars should be fun, yeah. Because I don't think I want it to be very hardcore, very difficult. I definitely want it to be more of a simple idea. So I want to more of a casual, fun idea, not super hardcore. So I definitely don't want it to be too punishing to potentially make a mistake. Let's use the accumulated resource in the next round. Okay. So basically you got the upgrades, but you also basically just keep some resources. So on the next round you're starting with more resources, then you use those to buy better machines. resources that are used to build the next factory. So yeah, basically having different resource types. Okay. Takes place at a different point in time. The old factory remains become the foundation for the next one. Resources shift and transform based on when and where they are. And run lengths both pull from the same shared time pool. So if you build more, it takes time away, but you can produce more for better progression. Okay, all right, so definitely quite a lot of ideas already, and just a little bit of brainstorming, so yeah. Okay. I'm going to make a Vampire Survivor Salon in Fast and Furious cars. Okay, that sounds fun. That could definitely be interesting. More Fast and Furious thing like that, yeah. Making a game where people will fall from roof and you need to click on them to quickly save them. Okay, that's interesting. So basically stop them from running out of time by saving them. Okay. Alright, so, okay, round-based. Oh, 1 minute. Try to build the biggest factory in 1 minute with better progression, of course. As much as possible, maybe some special resources remain between runs. Maybe all factories stay around as a record of the player's playtime. Using time as currency, factory automation, gather time resources, spend time to build and upgrade things. Spend too much, you run out of time and go bankrupt. Start with a certain amount of time. Gather time stones to gather more time. Spend time to build machines and upgrades. So I guess you've got like you've got like time to resource. Like, what was the theme? The theme is timeless, which is a very vague theme that can be interpreted in many different ways. Because if I go for the round base, then that's already kind of like the resource. So I think that might be. I don't like the idea of round base, but I'm questioning the. Because if I've got time. As a round base, like it's 1 minute, that's it. But then I've got like a different time resource that is counting down. Because if it is round base and I can't, then this 1 minute has to be mostly fixed. So I can't like gather an infinite amount of time to add on to it to basically add that one. Because at that point, then the iteration cycle, that one basically gets destroyed. Basically, it stops being a thing as long as I gather more time crystals. So the meta upgrades for the keeping the factories alive, that's interesting. So the old factories stay, and then as you buy more upgrades, then eventually, for example, this factory, this one stays. Then by like round 5, you've got this upgraded, or rather, you've bought the upgrades, but you can't upgrade because this one was made on round 1. On round 5, let's say this gets destroyed, so then you can build again, and you can build down to gain more. Okay, so it could be kind of like that, where you can always see what things will be destroyed and when. I guess the question then is that I can't figure out how can I merge both using time as resource with the round base 1 minute. Because if it's round base with 1 minute, or a certain amount of time, then that's already kind of a time cost. So then if I'm also gathering more time and spending more time, it gets kind of confusing to have two separate resources that are both supposedly time-based. Because if that one adds on to that one, it can't quite work because then you end up with too much. So there has to be some kind of benefit to running out of time. Okay, alright. Definitely got quite a lot of ideas in my head. But you have 1 minute target when the theme is timeless. Just because, yeah. You should not even know the time. You can interpret it in many different ways, and timeless, in this case, you run out of time. So the goal is to do things before you run out of time. So that would be the idea for the timeless. Yeah. Named there was a sci-fi anime in which the universe was enveloped by an endlessly expanding factory run by robots. Okay. That sounds interesting. Alright. Okay. Is the player immortal and time passes and everything decays around you? That can also be an interesting way to interpret timeless. Yeah. You have to build factories at a time, but only one can run simultaneously. Every 60 seconds you have to decide which one to focus on. Okay. Okay, you could have, for example, like different worlds that have different resources, and every time the round resets, you decide which one you want to go towards. You want to go to world A to gather some resource, go to world B to gather a different resource. It's a large scope for a single developer. Yeah, it definitely will be an interesting personal challenge to try to make a factory automation game in this amount of time. That will definitely be very tricky, but that's why I do. I mean, honestly, if I fail to finish the game in 48 hours, it's not really too much of an issue. I'm not going to stress too much about that. So even if I go a little bit overly ambitious, I'm okay with that. I won't I won't lose sleep if I can't manage it. I definitely will still try to make it in 48 hours, but yeah, if I end up going over it just because it's a more interesting idea, I'm okay with that. So yeah. To use the anniversary assets, I have no idea. So yeah, first I'm thinking about the idea, the game idea itself, and then I'll figure out what kind of assets do I want to use in those. This currency is something I use in my game Time Idle RPG. Nice. 1 second game to spend as a resource. That's a good idea. That is cool, yeah. And time scale mechanic, every time you use it, it takes some time. If you use your time cache, you can't use anymore. You could definitely do some interesting things playing around with time scale. I guess I'm having trouble because I really like both these ideas, but I can't figure out a way to combine them. I really like time as currency, but if I go with round-based, then I'm not sure I can use the time as the currency. Because then that's already the time limit. You've got one. How can I kind of mix those two ideas together? Being it where time is a currency and there's some kind of reset mechanic. I guess I can kind of use this idea over here. So time as currency. So you gather like some time crystals that add time and some that remove time. And I guess intentionally you want to gather more of these crystals so that you basically lose, but losing really just resets to go to the next iteration. So like maybe you can only do upgrades in between runs. Okay, so now I'm thinking of like a time multiplier. Okay, so got some kind of time multiplier, kind of a score multiplier. Where you gather X amount of seconds by mining time crystals. So you do that. Then gather, okay, I gotta come up with some name for this, which are the, what's the opposite of time? What's the opposite of time? On time, the opposite of time would be nothing. Okay, so that's not very helpful. Time synonyms, okay, give me some synonyms, some antonyms, some something. Moment, occasion, minute, instant, second, wow. Maybe I just call it negative time. Maybe that's just enough. And maybe like the icon could be like inverted. Antonyms: bored, drag, bust, downer, bummer. So time is memory. Stagnation. I think I'm gonna go with the boring thing and really just call it like negative time. I guess negative time, anti-time, untime. Yeah, I guess there's no actual word for the opposite of time, so I guess it's gonna be issue. Yeah, reverse time. Each base is its own time scale can be manipulated by things like black holes or time crystals. It could be interesting. Okay. Definitely quite a lot of interesting ideas here. Yeah. Time equals money, shared pool, build around, can change manually bank time, limited space, crystals take space, meta progression, automate, upgrade between rounds. Okay. Right. Yeah, so this is like, negative time crystals. Okay, and I'll come up with a better name for that. But yeah, so basically, gather X amount of seconds by mining time crystals, and gather negative time. Need to intentionally gather more negative time than time in order to intentionally lose. Losing means going to the next iteration. Between iterations, you can buy upgrades. So there's an incentive to, so basically, when losing, look at amount of gathered time times the multiplier. So like in between upgrades, you like upgrade the multiplier. So the first one you start off with like, let's say 100 seconds. So then you gather some time crystals in order to increase that, or maybe start with like 10 seconds. Then you buy the time crystals. You gather those in order to add the amount of seconds, and at the end, if you gathered something like 60 seconds, you do 60 seconds times 1, so you get like 60 gold, 60 credits, something like that. Then you use those 60 credits to buy some upgrades. Then the next iteration, if you survive for those same 60 seconds, with the upgrades of the multiplier, if a multiplier is like 2, instead of gathering 60 credits, you get like 120. But you can only upgrade in between iterations, so there's an incentive for you to gather the negative time to make it worse. What about a cozy game? You can definitely do that. Yeah. Upgrades is in time cards. More, you are a time traveler. You travel to the future, but your machine breaks and you are stuck. You gotta produce resources to fix the good effect. Yep, that could work for a sort of adventure game. Yeah. Is there a way to make different timescales on different parts of the screen, or at least simulate it? Yep, you can definitely make your own custom timescale sort of thing. We'll just manually multiply it, and you can just multiply it, and you can basically have different machines, different resources. So basically, you just have to use your own custom timescale instead of using Unity's own timescale. Yeah. Trying to balance time systems with positive time system with negative ones to keep the time at 0 equals timeless. Okay, that could be interesting as well. So instead of the goal being to gather time, it's to stay around 0 time as much as possible. And basically anytime you go too far from that, that can also be interesting. So the goal is that balance to stay within timeless. maybe only when you lose you get your meta progression. Yep, but you get more positive time you had before starting negative time. Okay. Lose condition if you gather too much positive time or too much negative time, encouraging harvest both roughly in equal measure. I do like that idea. I don't like it of staying within the 0.
Discovery Houston, prep to ATO.
About feeding a black hole. Yep, it's incremental that have mechanic for adding time. Yeah, those incremental games, they do have that, so I do want to incorporate that in some way. Theme is more endless. Yep, you can definitely interpret that as endless. Yep, you can interpret that in many, many different ways. Okay, so basically I think I'm fixed on, I want it to be a factory automation game, and I want time to be either currency or resource, and I do want to gather time crystals, and I do think it makes sense to gather like the opposite of that. So then is the goal to increase the amount of time or to stay within 0, to keep them both? I guess the issue is, if the goal is to keep them both, then how exactly do you buy upgrades? Okay, so maybe you could go, so maybe get some kind of health. Trying to think, because I don't want it to be too punishing. So maybe you've got some kind of health amount. And basically, if you go too far off from 0, you start to take damage, start to lose health. So you gotta go far away from 0 in order to make a certain amount of either positive or negative time to then buy the upgrades. And then when you go back to 0, your health kind of regens. Okay. So gather both positive and negative time to keep balance at 0. Health bar. So if too far from 0, take damage. If close to 0, heal. So basically, gotta go far from 0 to buy upgrades, and do it quickly before taking too much damage. Intemporal. Does that trigger anything? Not really. That makes me think more about weather. Temporal kind of makes it seem about weather, so I guess you could make something about some kind of weather. So give me a rough general idea on where we are with design. Just doing brainstorming, trying to think of all kinds of interesting ideas related to timeless. Time backwards is emit. Timeless backwards almost cell emit. Okay, so you have time crystals and emit crystals. Buy upgrades by banking them instead of balancing them. Okay. Okay, so maybe you could have like like different resources. So like it adds time, you got to keep it balanced, but they still give you resources, so you can take those resources and spend them on upgrades. So you're always trying to balance them. I do like the idea of balance. I do like keeping it around 0. I do like the idea of balancing. Yeah, basically any crystal spent. Yeah, I do like that idea. So like, for example, if I build this, so I've got this machine, this one is on level 1, and this one over here is also on level 1. And like this, they are both canceling each other out. You get +1, -1. Then you upgrade this one, and you're going to end up with way too much time, which is going to give you way too much time. So then you've got to upgrade this one in order to get more negative time. So I do like that idea of having to balance out which things you upgrade, how many things you combine, how many more resources you get from one side versus the other side. I do like that idea. So I guess I'm trying to think, do I still go for the round base idea or not? Because I'm trying to think that one might complicate things a little bit too much. Hey there! Nope, not late at all. Yeah. Guess I'm trying to think of how exactly do you buy upgrades? Because I do like this idea of going far from 0 to upgrade, so then upgrade can be the amount of resource, the amount you can go far from 0 before taking damage. So I do like this concept. I don't like the idea of staying around 0, but you gotta go away from 0 in order to buy the upgrades, but if you go away from 0, you start to take damage. Okay. Okay, I think that could be an interesting design. Basically, then you upgrade the amount you can go past from 0. Then you can basically enable and disable various machines, and if you disable them, okay. But if upgrading them both just creates trouble, what's incentive to upgrade? Basically to get to the next level. So basically you, at the beginning you try to keep them all balanced around 0, on level 0. Then you try to upgrade all your machines to like level 10, but you gotta do them one step at a time so you don't go way too far off balance. So I think that would be the core idea. Tower defense survival game where building and upgrading costs time. When time is spent, it's snipe and waves of monsters attack you. Oh, then it's day again and your time is full. Oh, that's actually a very interesting idea. I like that. Yeah. So if you want to make a tower defense game, I do like that idea. That sounds interesting. Yeah. Everything costs a different amount of time, so you have to choose wisely. That can definitely be an interesting idea. Going for something more tower defense, where usually you do have some kind of you've got like the build stage and the attack stage, and you can definitely do those. So that can be an interesting one, yeah. One upgrade can be you expand the tolerance away from balance before you lose. Yep. This lets you build up a larger bank from large upgrades. Yep, that's what I'm thinking, yeah. The whole thing about the amount you can go from 0. Yeah, it's basically that. It's basically the tolerance away from the 0 you can go. Design and develop complex game mechanics. Any idea how to improve that skill? Basically with experience. The more systems and mechanics you build, the easier it is to become more and more complex. So yeah, basically make lots of stuff and that improves. Damage type be different depending on which side of the time you're on. Radiation versus... Okay, so if you go too far in the negative, you get a different amount of damage. Positive time makes you older, negative time makes you younger. Some quests require you to be at a certain age. That could be a very fun idea for an RPG, definitely. Yeah, so like you gotta age yourself up to make a quest, then make yourself younger to do another quest. That's an interesting one, yeah. Gemma Star, game design struggle is real. Yep, definitely. Coming up with an interesting idea, that can definitely be challenging, yeah. Maybe you should make the game space themed and make time different depending on location. Perhaps the player can be an astronaut flying a rocket. Yeah, working with time dilation, I think that can also be an interesting one. So yeah, you can definitely go with something kind of like Interstellar and play around with time. That can be an interesting one. Okay. Sent to build away from 1-to-1 starting base. Each one requires an increasing amount of combined crystals to advance the next level. Can't use combo crystals for upgrades. The thing is, yeah, the combining the crystals, that's the thing that I'm trying to... Because I don't know if that becomes way too confusing. If you got both the time as the quote-unquote resource, but then you also have crystals. So the time, you try to keep that one balanced on 0, but then the crystals, those just increase over time. I think that can be a bit confusing. Basically, you harvest one resource, but you get 2 resources back. I think that can be quite confusing, quite tricky. Thoughts around the factory aspect that might help narrow down time mechanics. Honestly, just a normal factory game with just using time as just the theme. So yeah. So you've got like a central thing. So basically, yeah, I'm definitely thinking along the lines of Shape As. So basically, you've got like a... Well, Shape As the original one. Even though actually I'm still not sure. Am I gonna go with 2D or 3D? I don't know, 2D is easier to draw things, but 3D, I've got more assets I can use, so... I'm not sure. But yeah, basically on Shape As, you always deliver the shapes to a final central place. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I've got a central place that takes time, then you've got some resources, they give you plus time, these give you minus time, and you basically feed them all and keep them all, trying to keep the amount constantly at 0. So I do like that idea. I do like the idea of balancing positive time and negative time. Basically, the goal is to end up timeless, so you end up with 0 time. Then, of course, for the upgrades, you go away from timeless in order to buy the upgrades. But then you can't upgrade one without upgrading the other one. But at least I do like that. At least I think I'm set on that. So factory game, you've got time, you've got negative time, and the goal is to end up with basically no time, trying to keep the amount always at 0. So then if you go away from 0, you can buy the upgrades. I guess the issue is if you buy... Well, no, I guess it does make sense. So basically you buy an upgrade to upgrade the negative time and buy an upgrade for the positive time. But I guess that becomes sort of the obvious strategy. Because as soon as you upgrade the negative time, then you upgrade the positive time. Title time emit. That can be interesting. And crystal just means you merge them into a combined machine and counts them off. As the game progresses, if you have more positive speeds up, if you have more negative slows down. Okay, that's interesting. Alright. Factory is on spaceship, you have to adapt. Sometimes time is more biased to negative or plus, so you constantly have to adapt. Oh, okay. I like that. So basically the environment changes. So one environment is very... Oh wow, that's a very intense screenshot. Wow, that is complex. So, The environment changing, that is interesting. I do like that. That is an interesting idea. Okay, all right. Okay, so about like 30 minutes more to settle down an idea and then start writing some code. So basically, yeah, like 30 minutes to figure out the thing. Where's my... Start to open it up. Okay. So if they keep upgrading, but the time resources are further and further away. Okay. Okay, so I'm trying to think of, okay, so what is the challenge? Do the machines cost something to place? Okay. The theme been revealed yet? Yep, the theme is timeless. That's the theme right there, yeah. Like beer, sure. Yeah, beer is always interesting. Yeah. Make 2D assets. Okay, so I'll see if I can go with 2D versus 3D. Okay, Code Monkey meetup with beer. If you're all going to Unite, I will be at Unite, and there's actually I've got a booked a slot. Well, actually, I'm not sure if I can say that. Can I say that? Okay, I don't know if I can say that. Okay, I'll be at I'll be at Unite. So yeah, I don't think there's beer at Unite. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think there's alcohol at the event, but yeah, if it is there, okay. All right. New slots opening for the problem solving course. I'm planning on opening up some more on Sunday because yeah, I want to be available for the live chat, and since I'm doing the game jam, I won't be available on the live chat too much for the next few days. So yeah, I'm thinking of opening up on Sunday so that next week I can be very active. Short summary, what's on your mind before developing? Yep, as soon as I've got an idea set down, I'll see how you'd program the factory mechanics. I'm curious about that as well. Honestly, I'm thinking about, in terms of performance, I definitely can't go with something like Factorio, where it's super complex, so I definitely have to go with something more simple. So like maybe the resource, maybe they don't bunch up together, because that is the hardest part to deal with like making conveyor belts. Yeah. Making conveyor belts. Oh, super chat, thank you so much. And again, just want to ask about your opinion. Elon Musk in a recent podcast said that all digital jobs and stuff will be replaced by AI in the near future. We're thinking about it. Are you scared about it? No, and I'm not scared about it. No, I'm not scared about it. And okay, that I have no idea what context he said, but that sounds very silly. Unless definition of near future is like 100 years. If that's definition, then sure, in 100 years, AI will definitely do a lot of things. But yeah, in the near future, like the next 5 years, nope, still gonna have programmers, still gonna have lots of things. AI is definitely very interesting, but it's very far from achieving AGI, artificial general intelligence, or super AGI. I feel that is still very far away, especially because LLMs do seem to have hit a sort of plateau. So no, I'm definitely not too stressed over that. I do think you can continue learning, especially when it comes to these kinds of things. Learning programming, those are skills that I feel are going to be very, very valuable for a very long time to come. So yeah, definitely learn how to use AI. Yeah, learn how to work with the tools to improve your skills. So yeah, learn how to use things. I don't think they've hit their limit, but I do think it's likely going to require a different technology, not an LLM, in order to reach something that is super AGI. LLMs, they're not their limit. They're going to continue improving like 10-20%, but I don't think they're going to improve 1,000%. I think for that, you're going to need a different technology. I could be wrong, but so far, looking at how things have progressed over the past 6 months, and the progression definitely sort of leveled off. It is definitely not the massive improvements you saw going from ChatGPT like 3 to 4, that was a massive improvement. Then 4 to 5, not so much. And all the other things also not so much. So yeah. I mean, AGI that can develop games seems so impossible. Yep, right now that is impossible. Right now, games involve so many things that yeah, you can't really do that. So yeah, definitely not too worried about AI taking these kinds of jobs anytime soon. But yeah, it's definitely going to have an impact in the future. So I definitely recommend you learn about it. Yeah. Okay, so already revealed and what it is. Yep, the theme is timeless. So that's the theme. Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna just just go to the bathroom, be right back, and think a little bit more. Yep, I'm muted, forgot. Yeah. So no, 5 years definitely not going to change that drastically. If you say 50, yeah, 50 years things are going to be changed that drastically. But do not panic when it comes to AI. Things are definitely doing. Things are definitely. It's definitely a tool. It's definitely something that is changing quite a lot of things. But no, so especially if you are a programmer, developer, yeah, those are still very valuable skills that I definitely don't see them going away in 5 years. Again, AI was improving like a massive amount, now it's sort of plateau, so in order to massively change, they basically need to come up with a massive new breakthrough that basically changes something completely. And I don't see that happening. It might happen, but as far as I know, I don't think so. So are you scared about it? Nope, definitely not scared about that. Again, just learn how to use AI as opposed to being scared by AI, because being scared doesn't really help you too much, so yeah. About resending ideas, yeah, if the chat goes past, then yeah, go ahead and send it again. Yeah, with the 3D grid, you could have fixed asymmetric sprites with billboards. That's good. I do like 3D with billboards. I do like that. I do like that style. Stop calling it AI and just call it an LLM. See, that's the thing. If you tell me are LLMs going to become super AGI, I don't think so. But some other type of AI that is not an LLM, I think that could work. So, but again, that is definitely very difficult. Yeah. So much for you. Thanks. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Thanks for watching the videos. I'm glad they've helped you. Nice. Yeah. Okay. So let me think. Okay. So I do like this concept. I do like the concept if you got like positive time, negative time, and the goal is to try to keep them balanced. So I do like this. So you gather both positive and negative to keep them balanced. And if you go too far from zero, you take damage. Then of course you can upgrade how much you can go far from zero before you start to take damage. So basically go far from zero by upgrades. I guess those upgrades can increase the amount of... So I'm trying to think, what is the... Since if the goal is to stay around zero, then in theory, once you have this, then you've got kind of like the end game, which is obviously an issue. So with this, you've got +1, -1, so everything is balanced. So what is your incentive to doing something else? So I guess it could be like, you buy an upgrade that gives you like more build area, and like the goal is to reach some complex resources all the way over there. Or like to mine some different type of crystals. So maybe we got different type of crystals, so like different colors, some positive, some negative. Okay, so maybe it could be like shape as well. So basically it's asking for some type of crystals. So it's asking for with positive time, this thing's like buff output, while negative time increase the play area. Yeah, I do think increasing the play area, I do think that's a core upgrade. But basically what is encouraging you to go out?
Discovery Houston, press to ATO.
I do like the idea of upgrading the amount you can go far from zero. I guess the thing is just, it can be just upgrades.
3, 2, 1, 0, 0. Discovery, go and throttle up.
Global time value is an inverse effect on local time. I do also like the idea of like the environment changes the sort of time multiplier. Time at zero keeps you alive forever. What's timeless? Letting it go positive makes you age and die. Slowly increase the use of positive negative time, forcing the player to expand and produce more. Yeah, but that's the thing, because for that I kind of need to keep the resources, and that's the kind of thing that I'm trying to avoid with design. But I think maybe there's no way to avoid that. So I think I do need some resources. So positive time and negative time crystals, those give you an amount, you need to balance that amount, but also gather the other amount. But then you're going to end up basically... Ah boy, it's tricky. Team Fortress 2 is a timeless masterpiece. Yep, it's been years since I played it, but yeah, that was definitely a great game. Time to start building out the prototype. Yes, yes. Yes, I definitely do need to. I mean, technically I already have enough here to start building a prototype, because I definitely do want this. Definitely do want a factory game. I do want positive and negative things, and the goal is to stay around zero. So at least that part of the design, that part is sound, that part is fixed. I do know that I want to do that. I've played Bolix Pit. I haven't played it, but yeah, definitely looks very interesting. It is one of the games that I picked for my top new games of last month. Yeah. Totally forgot that I to finish compilation. Okay, because I imported a bunch of assets, but I haven't yet set that up. Feel versus Dutween. I mean, I normally use Feel, but I definitely want to try out Dutween a little bit more. Even though they do sort of different things, but yeah. So anyways, I just imported a bunch of... I imported the usual assets, the assets that Unity included, and plus a bunch of plugins like my own toolkit Feel. Also got Hot Reload, which apparently did not go. Why is that? Oh crap, now it's asking me for a login. I don't know my login. Why does this need... Okay, now I gotta find... Oh crap. Ah. Can I even... Okay, did that... Ah, crap. Yeah, I guess I should have set up all the things beforehand. I don't know. Okay, so I'll set that up afterwards. So you just stop. Okay, I'll worry about hot reload later. Okay, anyways. Okay. Thank you for your content. Function timer is the best. Yes, it is. That is awesome. That is an awesome utility class that I've used many different times. Cost time, collect time, negative percent to offset the time taken to get them. Gathering time, that is... I'm definitely having issues with figuring that out, yeah. Which Unity version? I'm using 6.0.60. I think there's like 61 by now, but yeah, that one. So Unity, is it good? Is a purchase Pathfinding Project Pro. That one is awesome. I definitely always do recommend that. Although, I don't think I'm saying something that is forbidden, but I would say Black Friday is starting soon, so I would say if you're considering buying some assets, I would say maybe wait a bit. Maybe. Maybe, yeah. Just use AI correctly for improving, speed up our workflow. That depends on what exactly you're trying to improve. For example, when it comes to brainstorming, I think AI is really great. So if I wasn't chatting with all of you right now, I would probably be asking AI how to fix all of this, how to come up with this design. So yeah, AI for brainstorming, that is great. For making prototypes, prototype images, prototype scripts, that can be great. And for helping you learn things, that can also be great. So yeah. Yeah, AI for concepting prototypes, I do think that is great, yeah. One says he thinks that phones as we know them won't exist by 2030. Okay, 2030 is 5 years ago, so that's a bit... Okay, yeah. So that puts me in mind of how, like 10 years ago, he said full self-driving was like 2 years away. So, yeah. When it comes to Elon, I take timelines with a big pinch of salt. So, yeah. So no, I do not think that phones will disappear in 5 years. Nope. Yeah, no. Anyways, so instead of crystal may produce components for clocks that go positive and negative directions. Like the more they tick, the time goes forwards and backwards. Okay. Alright. Hey everyone, hey! The more building and upgrades cost time, the more time spent feeds a time bottle. You have to produce anti-time efficiently in order to defuse the bubble before it bursts. Yeah, so that could be using some kind of time bubble. That could be an interesting visual for, like, instead of literally a health bar, some kind of time bubble. That could be interesting. Make highlights from this stream? I'm not sure. That would be way too much time to edit this whole thing down to highlights. So yeah, I'll definitely make a video, like an overview of the final game, whatever that ends up being. So I'll definitely make a video on that, but yeah. Okay, so I think it's time to start focusing on making some kind of prototype on this. Because yeah, you know, I am decided on this. I think I'm gonna start with this and then we'll figure out the rest of the design as we go along. But yeah, get some time crystals, some negative time crystals. Those add them, one adds +1, one adds -1. And basically the goal is to keep them around 0. And if they go too far, they take damage. So I'm going to go with basically this idea roughly. Then everything else I can kind of, yeah, I do think the round base, that's a very interesting idea. So if any of you wants to make like an incremental game, I do think this has potential, like an incremental round-based game, round-based factory game. I do think that has potential. So if any of you wants to build it, go with that. But I think over here, yeah, I think the round-based, at least I can't figure out how do I merge it with this. Yeah. Yeah, time is currency, factor animation, gather time resources, spend time to build and upgrade things. So that is still kind of the thing, except I've got positive time and negative time. So instead of being running out of time, it's more you can't go away from timeless. So you gotta always be timeless. You gotta always be around 0 time. Gather from time zones, gather more time, spend time to build machines and upgrades. Yep, times a multiplier. Yeah, so like the multiplier, I mean, I could still go. Okay, anyways, I think it's time to start trying to build out a prototype of sorts. Okay. Do this, and start preparing things. All right, let's make a nice scripts folder. And over here, let's begin by making a time machine. It's going to be the main thing. Then over here, let me make some kind of floor. 3D object, a plane for the floor. Actually, I touched my microphone. Is it working? Okay, it's all working. Good. Some kind of floor. Where's my camera? Or why is the floor not on 0, 0? Make it quite a bit bigger, like 10 something. Yeah. And make some kind of cube. So nice cube. This is going to be the time machine. I'm going to have the time machine script on there. Let's put it on something like 0, 0. But actually, yeah, let me not make the cube, make the time machine, then put inside the visual for the time machine, and put this one a little bit up there, like 1.5. Okay, so this is the time machine. And where's my camera? So my camera's over here. Go and put it a bit more up, looking down. Actually, I should have imported the package manager. Let me go on this one, because there's one like grid something. Let me get some grid box prototype visuals. I think that's it. So let me import those just so I have a bit of a different visual. So over here, material, let's go. Everything is showing up on the other tabs. That's a bit tricky. Something like this, and just increase the tiling. 20, and on this one, well, actually for this one, let me just make a materials folder, and let me get some material for blue, and make this one, the visual for this one, make it kind of a blue, and make it a blue. Okay, kind of like this, and put it a little bit bigger. 2, 3. Okay, anyways, so this is the time machine, and basically the time machine is going to be receiving all kinds of things from the, so that's the time machine. Then I'm going to have the time miner, time crystals. So the names are definitely very, yeah, so I've got the time miner. Actually, let me just duplicate this one. So it's going to be the time miner. And time miner, this one go in there, make it a little bit smaller to be different. 1.5, this is gonna have a different color. It's like red, yellow. I like making this, I like making some normal base color materials that I can apply to things. That way they can be quite visually different. So like on the time miner, this one, let's make it a nice yellow. This one I'm going to make a nice time miner script. And this one over here, so let's see. So I'm going to need some kind of timer. So float timer, Then on private void update, timer minus equals time.delta time. And if the timer is under 0, if so, basically timer plus equals some kind of timer max, float timer max. Let's say point 0.2 timer max, and then this one is going to basically spawn sometime. So now the question is, how am I going to handle the conveyor belts? I'm trying to think. Do I actually make conveyor belts, or do I make them? I think I do want to make conveyor belts, but I think I also do want to make them not. I want conveyor belts, but I don't want them to like have collisions. I don't want to have to worry about things getting clogged up, because that requires a very complex thing that is going to be very difficult to implement. So analyzing ideas, yeah. How do I actually save this board? I actually don't know. Do I gotta sign up for free? Okay, so I gotta remember to sign up. Let me actually just save a screenshot of this just to make sure I don't actually lose this. Okay, so for the conveyor belt, I'm trying to think of how do I make it. I make it node based, so you've got one node connects to another node. So basically, the time down is going to spawn like a time crystal. Yep, I'm definitely going to be using a grid, yeah. Bit 530, combine conveyors into segments. Each segment has a list of items. Item has position float, and you just move that float, yeah. Try and think what is the best way. I mean, there's a billion ways to implement conveyor belts. The big problem is how many ways can I, what is the best way considering I have a very limited time frame. So I definitely can't do something very very complex, very difficult. So that is why I want to avoid collisions and those kinds of things. Because even if I go for I mean, Factorio is quite insane, so I won't be using splines. I'm just going to be using just normal, no curves. Yeah, I want them to be very much, yeah, so very much over here, just like shape as, very much just that. So no curves, no splines, just straight lines all around. Just GPT for help with playing the project architecture. Okay, that could be interesting. Yeah. KGM will come. I have no idea, but definitely not in the next 5 years. Or at least I don't think it will happen in the next 5 years. So yeah. Okay, so trying to think, how do I store the conveyor belt? Trying to think, do I make it using game objects or just normal C# things? Because that's always the kind of issue with making factory games, is that you can very easily end up with something that is very unperformant, something that runs very terribly. So I'm trying to think of what is the best way to do it, that I can do within the time frame and that is performant enough to do what I want it to do. At least I'm pretty sure that, yeah, I'm going to be using segments for the conveyor belts as opposed to using like individual grid positions. Make it work, make it right, make it fast, make it pretty in that order. Yep, I definitely do agree with that order. Yeah. Stream full dev process. I'm not sure. My voice already a bit messed up, so yeah, I don't think I will live stream the whole thing, but yeah. So basically in a little bit, I'll go offline to let my voice rest a little bit, but then I will keep working until like 10 p.m. Then I'll go to bed, and then tomorrow morning, continue working on it. So yeah, I guess I'll try to live stream like, I don't know, half of it maybe. So yeah, I guess we shall see. Anyways, okay, so I do want the conveyor belt. I think maybe I'll, is that an IKEA chair? It is. And it's surprisingly good, honestly. I didn't expect this one to be that good when I bought it, considering how it's a basic chair, but no, it's actually a surprisingly good chair. Yeah, and I bought it now like 2 years ago, and it's still very good, so yeah, definitely. I have no idea what the name is, but yeah, some kind of IKEA chair, and it's really awesome. I really like it, yeah. Do no mic with you, just developing. Okay, that would be interesting, but I think that's a bit, I don't know, that's a bit of, is there much value in a live stream if I'm not talking? I'm not sure, so yeah. Anyway, so let me make some kind of belt. And basically, okay, so I guess I create segments and then a belt attaches to another belt. So if I have like a curve, I've got basically two belts. That belt is connected to the other belt. So basically the belt has an input and output. Okay. I'm trying to think, do I implement the grid system right now or just in a little bit? I guess that's what I'm thinking. No, there was, yeah, I'm gonna consider joining it. Yep, definitely do join. I mean, it's only just started right now, so yeah, here is the official ENT Jam. So yeah, if you wanna join, definitely do join. Yeah, the theme is timeless, and you've got 48 hours. Actually, I think it's more than 48 hours. Yeah, because then it starts at 5 p.m. but it ends on Sunday only at midnight. So yeah, you definitely do have, I think it's like 50 hours. So it's a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. 2 days, 5 hours. So yeah, definitely have quite a bit of time to do it. Yep, the conveyor belt is definitely going to be static. I'm thinking about having inputs and outputs for the conveyor belt. Yeah, I guess I'm just thinking, do I implement the grid system right now or not? Yep, I will definitely make the conveyor belts push to the next location without knowing. Yep. So basically I'm going to have some kind of output that is going to be I'm going to call it something like a like a belt input, like an I belt input. Or I guess maybe I shouldn't be dealing with interface just now, but sure. Interface I belt input. So I've got this, and then for example the time machine, this one is going to implement the I belt input. So this one is going to be an input, and for that one, in order to implement I belt input, I'm going to have like void like add time crystal, something like that. Then on the time machine, I'm going to implement that. And for the add time crystal, in this case, this one is basically just going to store an amount. So private int for the time amount. And for this one, then I need positive or negative time. Trying to think, do I put that as a boolean? Do I define enum? Because I'm only going to have positive and negative, or maybe not. I guess. Do I think about potentially having more crystal types or not? I think even if I do or don't, I still think it makes okay, so okay, let me do a time crystal. This one is going to be an enum. And yeah, over here, just make positive, yeah, positive and negative. Okay, and then over here, add time crystal, time crystal, time crystal. So I'm going to add this, and on the bound input, yeah, I'm going to add it kind of like that. So that one takes that. Okay, do a switch on my time crystal, and case time crystal dot positive, and case time crystal dot negative. Case these, so time amount plus plus, and time amount minus minus. Okay, so that one adds it. And I basically got that amount, okay? So but then basically on the belt, should the belt be the one that moves all the objects or not? I think so. And I think like this, maybe I can even implement like the supposed collisions on the belt without too much effort. If the belt has a list of items. Okay. Okay, this one I should actually refactor this, so not time crystal type. Because then I won't have the time crystal, which is going to be the actual object itself. So I've got the crystal type. Then I've got one for the time crystal. And the time crystal, so this is the one. So this one has a private time crystal type. Okay, and then on the belt, I've got a private list of time crystal list. So I've got this list right here. And then private void. Do I do it on update? I probably should not do it on update, but for now, let's do it on update. So this one, I'm going to have a private I belt input. So belt output. So basically, the output for this one is going to be some other input. Okay, and on the belt output, I'm going to need a public vector 3 get position. And then on the time machine over here, public vector 3 get position. Okay, so I think I'm gonna, okay, anyways, that does work. So yeah, return transform that position. Okay, so I've got that position. That way on the belt over here, I can basically move things towards down. So for each time crystal in the time crystal list, I cycle through that, then time crystal. I guess for starters, I'll make this one move that one. So the belt output and the belt input. Okay, so vector 3, move direction. I'm going to calculate some kind of move direction that is going to be the belt output dot position minus the belt input dot position. So I get those dot normalize. I normalize down. So I've got the move direction. Down dot transform dot position plus equals down times some kind of move speed. So define a float move speed equals 1f. And times time dot multi times. So that is basically going to move them. And then I guess I won't check. Okay, so yeah, because in the end I'm probably going to do a 4 and start from the end and go backwards. But for now, let me just do 2 4 eaches. That time crystal, and time crystal list. Basically do that, and if time crystal, if this one dot transform dot position, try to see if it is close enough. 3 dot distance between this one and the belt output dot get position. If that one is float reached position distance, which let's say like 0.2f. If it is closer than 0.2f, oh right, I can do it for each because I want to destroy it. 4 equals 0. Time crystal list dot count and was okay. Then I've got the time crystal equals down on the on the on the eye on that. Okay, I've got the time crystal. Basically, I'm going to move it. If it reaches there, then destroy this time crystal dot game object and go on the I belt out. No, the belt output on that one. Let me add a time crystal. Go into that time crystal and get time crystal type. So let me make this one right here. So this one, public void, get time crystal type, return the time crystal type. Okay, so then on this one, I can get that one, and on add the time crystal. Did I not get the from void? Did I make void? I make it void. Time crystal type. Okay. So I get that one, I add that one, I destroy it, then do I minus minus so I don't skip it. Okay, alright. Oh, Jason! Hey, how's it going? It's been a while, yeah. I just had dinner, I had to move my belt out too, yeah. Okay. Alright, so yeah. Based on that one, I add the time crystal and then I keep that one. Okay, so like this, I just need to implement a belt input. So I guess on this one, let me implement the I belt input, which means I'm going to have to implement this. So even though that one, yeah, because this one is never going to add it. Nope, just on this amount of time, basically it's going to spawn those time crystals. Okay, and for the position, return, transform that position. So basically I've got, okay, I think I've got enough right now to start adding things. So I've got the time, okay, I've got the input, okay, let me make the time crystal. So I've got time crystal right there, and this one's going to have some kind of, let's use a sphere, okay, nice little sphere, put it somewhere, yeah, sure, I guess something like this. Let's go with a red sphere, okay, sure. So that's my time crystal right there, which actually this script isn't doing anything, right? Yeah, it just has the type, that's it. Okay, that's good. Some time crystal, let me just make a prefabs folder. Make this one into a nice prefab that I'm going to spawn. Okay, and then I'm going to do a belt, and for the belt, this one's going to have an input and output. So the input is going to be, oh, I didn't make it. So I'll make this a nice serialized field, even though then it's not going to be serializable, so it's only just now just for testing. That's the only way that this is serializable. After a while it won't be anymore, but for now, did I not save? Ah, crap, I forgot. Ah, damn it. Ah, I forgot how game objects don't, that's annoying. Ah, crap, so I'm gonna have to use a trick. That sucks. I totally forgot about that. Game object, belt input game object, and belt output game objects. And over here on void awake, so belt input equals belt input game object, not get component, I belt input, and same thing for the output. Put the output right there. Okay. So now I can assign those two, and those can be assigned. So the time miner, this one's going to be the input, and the time machine, this one is going to be the output. Okay. Okay, so almost done for a quick test, I think. So time machine, that one's not the time machine, that one is meant to be the time miner, like that. And on time miner, over here, a serialized field, private game object for the time crystal prefab. Okay, so I've got this one, right zone. Use serialized reference on the interface. Can you? I don't know, I do know they changed something to allow interfaces, but does the serialized reference works? Because I do know they changed something, but I don't remember what it is. So, oh, there's a bell. Is it serialized reference? Does that work with the interface? Because yeah, I was forced to learn this trick because it didn't work for ages, but I think nowadays, yeah, I don't know if this is the way, but okay, so no, it's not that one, but yeah, okay, so that one, but you need a custom edit. Okay, so at least for now, I'm going to use this workaround. This one works, so basically just get the game object and do, yeah, you can't drag and drop, which sucks, because interfaces are awesome, and it sucks how, oh, am I still alive? Because my tab just died. Why did I run out of memory? Am I still alive? Am I still alive? Okay, still working. Okay. Okay, good. Oh, because that went like that, yeah. Both interfaces are set to belt input. Yep. So I'll make a belt output, but for now, yeah, because for now all I care is just adding the amount over there on that. So anyways, on the, not on the belt, on the time miner, on this one I've got the prefab. So after you do that, I guess I just spawned it on this position. Yeah, I guess just spawned it on this position. So instantiate the time personal prefab on this get position, returning.identity. No thanks. That is only going to spawn it, and then I'm going to add it over here onto this one. So only void add time crystal, time crystal, and then on the time crystal list dot add this time crystal, and then over here on this one I spawn it transform time crystal, not prefab, the game, yeah, actually it's gonna be a game object, right? Game object, and this one dot get component of type time crystal. Is this not going to spawn a, oh, it is a game object. Get that one, and then I guess this one needs to have the belt that it's connected to it, which would be this one's output, right? Yeah, so the belt itself would have, okay, so I'm trying to think, because the belt has an input and an output. Basically just goes start and end point. So then the miner is going to drop it onto the belt. Right, yeah. Yeah, so I won't end up making a belt input and a belt output, yes. Anyways, for now I think I'm just gonna store it directly, and then I'll make it more of a more generic way of doing things. But for starters, I just got the belt, and over here on the belt, I just add time crystal, and I'm going to add this one. So I'm going to spawn it, I'm going to add it. That is going to add it over here onto the belt. Then the belt is going to move all the crystals, going to move them towards the belt output, which is the time machine, gets to this one, then this one adds the time crystal, and this one should add the time amount. Let me actually make this a nice serialized field so that I can see it in the editor. All right. This one has the belt, and then the belt has the input, the output. So now it should be spawning things every half a second. Except it isn't. Of course, there's a null reference. What is the null reference? What did I forget? The belt isn't assigned? What? But I did assign the belt. Does this not have the... Oh, it does have the belt script. Oh, time personal list. Oh, wait, never mind. It's this one. It's... No, yeah. Okay. Where to learn C++ or Unity. Those are two very different things. One is an engine, one is a language. If you want to learn Unity, then you'll learn C#. If you want to learn C++, then you'll learn... Then you use Unreal. Okay, so this is definitely spawning way too many crystals and they're moving way too slowly, but at least over here, the time machine, this one should be adding an amount, except it isn't adding it. Wait. Okay. My Unity just froze. Okay. Okay, my Unity froze and the memory is going up like crazy. Did I at least save it? Oh god, I hope I saved it. Ah. Why did it freeze? Why did I make it freeze? Oh boy. Ah crap, now it's showing up on the other side. Okay, I'll move it over there. Yeah. Where did I do the infinite loop? No, the time crystal that one goes on this. Oh, never mind. Because I'm not removing it from the list. Move at on this I and then skip it back. Otherwise, yeah, it's constantly going to be destroying it and adding it. So I think that was the issue. Did I mess up on the things over here? Save often. Yep, definitely save often. I mean, I do think I saved most of it. Yeah, just don't have the belt reference, but everything else. The prefab is there, so everything else should be good. So let's see. let me increase the speed on that one and make that one quite a bit slower. So on the belt itself, I'll move quite a bit faster, like on 3F, and on the time miner, this one spawned quite a bit slower, like just 1F. Okay. Let's give it a shot and try to see what happens. So there it goes. A time crystal, and when it goes up there you go. +1, +2. Okay, so it is working, so I've got that one. So now I can, and actually time crystal positive, okay. This one still, well, this one's going to be set programmatically, but for now, let's put it like this, so I can make this one a positive and make the other one a negative. So on this one, make it a positive, and on that one, make it a negative. This one's going to be a negative, and I should probably replace the visuals. So the positive, let me make another color, make it green. Nice little green color, and for the sphere, use this nice one, and the other one is a red. Okay, so I've got basically a time miner. That one is spawning positives, and this one's going to be spawning negatives. So time miner, you spawn some negatives, and now just by spawning the negatives, in theory, that one should be like that. So let's, right, yeah, of course, I do need a different belt. Okay, so I definitely need to figure out how am I going to handle the belts, because it makes no sense for the time miner to have a reference to the belt, and then the belt has a reference to the input and the output. I definitely don't like the fact that I've got to basically copy paste the same reference on 2 different places. That is definitely not good. But yeah, so that one is, so on the time machine, that one should be going up, and then the negatives start coming in, and then there you go. It's now constantly bouncing between -1 and +1. Okay. Okay. Ah, boy. Proxy game objects are grabbing the input. The input interface, yeah. Interfaces are the same, not in and out. Yeah, right now they are all supposed to be meant just that, but yeah, I'll definitely make, because the input, that one needs the add time crystal, but the output does not. So I'm trying to think of what do I make from the output, because basically for the time miner, this one is not really going to be an input because it's never going to receive input. Has Jam started? Yep, it has started. The Unity 20th anniversary game jam, and the theme is timeless. So yep, it has indeed started. So if you want to make a game for jam, do that. But yeah, the time miner, this one is a belt output. So let me try to do that one now. So the I belt output. So I've got an input and the output, and for this one, for the output right here, what do I need for the output? I'm trying to think, do I need the position? Maybe I do need the position. Get position. Time and this one would be I belt output instead of input, because this one never needs to add things. I guess the thing is, because the time miner, so this one has, yeah, the belt is going to be the input. So the belt, this one over here, is going to implement I belt input. The belt itself is an input. And they don't already implement the add time crystal. I did that one, the time crystal type. Okay, what do you think about this? Because basically on the miner, so this one is going to output, so it's going to go into an I belt input, which sounds a bit confusing, because this one is an I belt output, meaning this outputs something onto a belt, and the belt input is something that receives. But if this one is sending something out, that out is going to be something receiving something, so socket. Okay. But the thing is, socket works as both input and output, and I kind of want to separate them. So mine is just going to be a clock. Yeah, pretty much. Just has to be positioned nearby the crystal nodes. And then, yeah, basically just a clock that spawns the things over time. Thing is, in this case, the belt, that one needs to create, that one needs to add a time crystal. I guess instead of receiving time crystal type, I should receive a time crystal. So I think this one is correct. So that one receives the time crystal. Then the belt, this one receives the time crystal, not the time crystal type. And then over there, that one receives that. And I think that one does not destroy this, but destroy that. Okay, so I think it's like this. I think the machine that one receives a time crystal, not a time crystal type. And time crystal dot get the time crystal type, you do that, and then you destroy it. So this is the one that is responsible for destroying the time crystal. Okay, so I think like this, it makes sense. Yeah, and I guess I just call it bounce, so that one is Armand's too. Why did I add that? I don't know. So this one is a bounce output. Okay, so the input output is it's a little bit confusing because the output for this belt is an input and the input is actually an output. Okay, so I'll have to figure out a different way of naming it, but in terms of theory, that is what I want. So the input for this belt is going to be something else's output. Something else outputs onto this one. And over here you've got the belt input. So okay, so maybe I'll need to refactor the names, think of some better names, but it looks like this. I think it is connected like I wanted. So the time miner, that one is connected to a belt input. I guess the thing that I don't like is that the time miner, that one is connected to a belt input, but then this one over here, this one also has a reference to the input. So the miner is connected to the belt, and the belt is also connected to the miner. I do not like that. I'm not use AI for coding because my brain works better by myself than with AI. So yeah, can you use assets from the Unity asset store? Yep, you can. You can use whatever assets you want. So yeah, you can do that. Yeah, good luck. Also, nice. Working on a game right now. I'm worried about the AAA titles next year. Your indie game does not compete with AAA titles. So yeah, do not worry about that. I mean, maybe GTA 6, maybe that is the one exception, but yeah, as long as you're not working on the exact same thing, exact same genre, then nope, do not worry about collisions on that. Yeah. Don't talk for belt, but crystal generator. Okay, generate consumer, that might be a better naming scheme. About serialized reference in interface, you can make it work with something like, yeah, I know there are extensions that do work. Yeah, do something like serialized reference, subclass selector. Yep, definitely, that is definitely quite useful. Okay, so, but yeah, I do think this is working. So the names are a little bit confusing, but it is working. So of type output, but it's actually an input for this belt, and type input, which is actually the output for this belt. So I think like this should still be working the same, but at least now I have the concept of an input and an output, and it should still be spending out both things. And of course, there's no reference just because I changed the type, but I did not drag the reference. Wait, which one? The timeline. Did I not reference the belt? Wait. Ah, crap! It's the whole thing because it's a yeah. Belt game objects, make belt equals belt game object, get component of type I belt inputs. Okay. Oh, of course, I forgot to assign it. So the miner, this is the one on the 1. This one is not correct, and this one, that is the one on that one, just like that. Okay, so the positives are going, the negatives are going, and yep, they basically cancel each other out. There you go. Constantly -1, +1. Okay, so that is good. Okay, so in terms of spawning things and going there, all right. I guess I would want to make 2 belts, try to see if that one does work, and I do think it would work. I don't see any reason why this system would not work, but let's try to make that. So make another belt, and so basically I'm going to have from this miner, it's going to go into a belt that is going to go to around here. Okay, so I guess I need to have guess maybe I need the belt to have some kind. I mean, the belts are obviously going to eventually have visuals. For now, they just don't have them, but yeah, they will have. So I guess they are positioned on the endpoints, and then I dynamically draw the visual back into the input point. Because basically on the no, because this uses the input and output. No, but it does use the position for the output. Okay, so I do think it has to be like this. So basically I've got, okay, so let me see. So I've got timer 1. This one is going to drop things off on belt 1, and then belt 1, this one is going to drop things off on belt 2. So it comes from timer 1, drops onto belt 2, then belt 2 receives things from belt 1 and drops them off into the time machine. And the belt is using the position of the endpoint, so this one drops it on belt 1, so the position for this one doesn't really matter. What matters is the position for the target. As long as that one is moving towards belt 2, so that should move towards belt 2 and then move towards, okay, so I think just like this it should be working. And of course there's an error. What is the error? Wait, something, because I'm using the belt as both input and output, but the belt does not implement the output. I can, yeah, because it just uses the same thing, right? I guess then I could have like get input position and get output position. Okay. And goes there, and they're stuck. Why are they stuck? Because they go there, they go towards belt 2, but then belt 2 isn't doing anything. Because it should be adding onto the list. Okay. Transform.name was the time person. Try to see if this one is being called on the belt 2. And let me actually disable the other minor just to keep things simple. Okay, so that one should be adding first of all onto belt 1, then it should be adding onto belt 2. So belt 1 add time crystal. Then when that one reaches the end, yeah, belt 2 add time crystal. Okay, so why is that one not moving? Because the belt 2, that one should be going from there to the time machine. Why is belt 2 not going towards the time machine? Yep, okay, so I'm not sure why this one isn't moving. Debug log on the belt output. Try to see if that one is correct, which I'm pretty sure it is correct. Let's move direction and see how that one is going. Okay, why is that one saying 0, 0? Why is the direction saying 0, 0? Wait, are they on the same? Wait, no. Oh, okay, so that's the issue. Wait, okay, let me think. So it needs to be on the okay, so the whole thing, the whole input-output thing is definitely being a little bit confusing. Because over here, basically, the issue is this one is, so this one has to be pretty much over there. But that is wrong, so both of them can't be on the same position. Like this, technically, it will work. But like this, I don't know if it would work if I had multiple things. Yeah, it goes there, then goes and adds onto it, and then the time machine, that one should still be going. Yep, there you go, going into the negative, so that is working. But yeah, like this, I couldn't have another node because the so basically both belts are positioned over there. Okay, let me try to think of what exactly do I want it to be. So basically, I got the minor, not this minor, this minor. So it spawns there. That one is connected to a belt. So I'm going to position the belt at the endpoint. So belt 1 is over there. Right, but it can't be. Wait. No, it can be. Can it? Okay. Okay, so now we'll, so that one goes into belt 1, which is in there, yes. Then this one outputs into belt 2. Okay, I think the issue is that I'm... because the belt 1 position is never really being used. Because this one takes input and output. You know, it is... Okay, oh crap. I just made a memory leak. Oh, that's funny. What's the song name? I have no idea. It's from the lo-fi chill beats thing. That's what I put on the background.
Being able to...
So here, this one. 12 hours of DMCA free music. Look at that, excellently made. Something like that. I guess it really makes no sense for me to be calculating the move direction, right? I guess I'm making things needlessly complicated for myself when I could just use the time crystal position. Technically this is more performant because I just calculate the move direction once, but I can definitely just calculate it over there and use this time crystal, transform dot position, just down like this, doesn't matter where it is, and at least this avoids this problem from ever happening again. So okay, so the time miner, so this one goes, this one mines some time and drops them off on belt 1. Belt 1 is going to take them from input to output and spawns over there, moves towards this current position, but then belt 2, technically the position of belt 2 doesn't matter. Wait, no, it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter because it goes from down into down. And as soon as this one is added, this one just goes towards the time machine. So basically the only position that does not matter is the first one, because the input position does not... I guess the question is, why does it need to have an input at all? Technically there's no input required. Yeah, over here I'm literally not even using the input. Because the belt just needs to receive stuff, right? And they're going to be received and just moves it from A to B. Or rather, it doesn't matter from where it receives. Whatever it receives just moves towards B. When it gets to the end of B, just sends it to the next thing, which can be another belt, can be another time machine. So technically, the input is not even necessary. I mean, on-jam process. A little bit. I mean, my voice already messed up, so I'm definitely going to be offline a little bit. And then I'll do some work off stream. But yeah, I'll try to do as much on screen as possible. Yeah, so anyways, like this, already got time goes up, time goes down, and I've got the thing going towards there. I guess let me just implement some kind of health mechanic. Okay, so let me implement a nice little health system, which I can actually just reuse my health system, but on the time machine, where's my health system? So I'm gonna go into my toolkit, my tools, where's my health system? There it is. So on this one, prefabs, I've got a health bar UI world canvas, that's what I want. So let me just take this one, that is way too big. The 40. Okay, so I'm gonna have to play around the scale instead. One. Okay, something like that. So the time machine, this one is going to have a health system. Okay, it's not the one from demos. So the health system component is going to have 100, start off at 100. And this is going to be the one that I'm going to show over there. So the health bar should start off as full. Okay, and now if I, let me actually disable one of these miners so I get that one. So on time machine, then I guess I don't want to do it every single time. So let's do private void start. Use the function timer in order to create, not the function timer, the function periodic, in order to create one for the test time amount health damage, or time amount damage, just that, time amount damage every second. Okay, I got this one. Avoid test this damage. So if the time amount is bigger than 5, or time amount is under than -5, int damage threshold. That's a good, crap, it's hiding. Threshold equals 5. So if it's above that one or that one minus that one, go into the health system. So private for my health system inside that one. Yep, health system. Private void on awake. Let's get component time health system component. Get this one. Get the health system and put that one. So health system equals that one, and then go into that health system. If it is like that, then call damage and deal just some like 1 damage. Okay. So basically, when that one is past 5, then it should actually the health amount should probably be related to the how far off it is, but still. So anyways, right now I've only got negative time. So as it approaches, once that one goes below -5, that one should start to take some damage. -5, -6. Yep, there you go. It is taking damage very slowly, but yeah, it is definitely taking damage. So, okay. And I guess I do, if not, else, basically, health system dot heal. And I'm basically going to heal it. Heal by 1 amount. Okay. So I gotta add more. Okay, so now I'm trying to think. Okay, in terms of the mechanics of balancing it, okay. So I damage or I heal. Okay. Okay, just for a test, let's try to see if this is working. Let's deal just a little bit more, like 3. And I'm going to do a quick test. I'll put the test right here. Update. So if keyboard, not this one, keyboard, this one, dot current dot t key that is pressed, no, was pressed this frame. This one I'm going to enable down. So let's make a nice little debug. Serialize fields. No. Private of transform or game object of the time miner 2. So these two, this one T, this one dot set active into true, and this one set the other one. So on the Y key, set the time miner 2, set that one as active. Okay, so like this, I should be able to test and see if the logic is working. I just have to pre-prepare. So I've got the time miner, then I'm going to have another time miner, and this one is going to use a different belt. So this one is going to drop it off onto that belt, and now this belt 3, this one just outputs to the time machine. Okay, great. Right, because there's no, because the time miner is dropping it on itself. Yes, so the positions are correct. Okay, so I think like this is correct. This one drops on belt 3, and belt 3 drops onto that one, and this one starts off as disabled, and then on the time machine, that one is time 1 and timer 2. That way I should be able to test if I can take damage and if I can heal damage. So let's say right now I've positioned this one, so I'm gathering negative time. So that one is going, and that one is going to start going to -5, going into the negatives. And as it goes into negatives, that one is going to start taking some health damage. There you go, goes down. Okay, taking health damage. Now let's spawn. Okay, let's start gathering some positive. And that one's basically not going to heal, because that one's basically just going to stop from going down. So spawn the other one. And now I've got 2 of them giving positives. And now that one is struggling in a little bit. That one should go back up to -5. And there you go. Now it is healing. Okay, great. So yeah, basically if you go too far off the time amount, go too far off 0, you start to take damage. If you manage to get back within range, you start to heal damage. And now as it goes back on the positives, goes away. But if I manually disable, oh, not this one. if I manually disable the time miner so that the time machine down gets back into just the +5. Wait, oh, because it was still receiving. Oh, come on, go. Wait, why is it still? Oh, right, never mind. Yeah, because I got to disable both of them. Thankfully, I didn't implement a death mechanic, so that still works. Yeah, I got to disable both of them so that that one goes back into that. Okay, let's go down, down. And then it goes down. I'm going to enable the other one like this. Okay, enable it. That one starts spawning. Let's see if that one now stays within. And there you go, 5-6. Yeah. Like this, and yeah, now it is pretty stable, so it is healing. All right, awesome. So yeah, I do think that is the nice basic design for the game. You mine positive time, you mine negative time, and the goal is to try to keep it around 0. Then you go outside of 0 in order to buy enough for upgrades, and then you keep buying upgrades to keep improving everything. So yeah, so that's the whiteboard. So basically got the nice time machine, and oh, what is this? No, I don't want to draw. I want to select. How do I select? I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, I got the negative time. I got the positive time. They both go. They go in towards the machine, and the goal is basically to keep time as close to 0 as possible. All right, so I think that's good. I think that is nice. I think that's a good starting point. Now yeah, now my voice is already messed up. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna take a break. I'm actually going to pick up my dog because my dog is at my parents' because I went to that event, so I had to leave him there, so I guess I won't do that. It might do too. Nice, awesome. Yeah, I hope some of you are joining the game jam. Definitely make something nice and fun. Cause yeah, and some art that's for you. Oh, okay. Machines, gears, UI, and crystals. Anything else I should prioritize? I don't know, because I suck at thinking what assets I'm going to need. So yeah, yeah. For now, I'm really just thinking about things. Long of a break. Well, I probably won't be back today just because it's already 7:30 p.m. So yeah, it's gonna take me at least like 1 hour to go pick up my dog, then walk him, then eat something, and then I'm probably going to let my voice rest a bit, maybe work a little bit just by myself. So I'll be back tomorrow morning, I guess. All right, yeah, I will do. But yeah, this was a fun. I do think the design is interesting. So the only question is, can I build this in 48 hours? So that is definitely going to be the challenge. But at least the design. I do think the design is interesting, so yeah. I think it is interesting. I think there is potential for me to build it in 48 hours, and who knows? Maybe it will be a nice game, maybe not. Anyways, we shall see. When tomorrow? I have no idea, because when I wake up, usually my voice is all messed up, so probably not literally as soon as I wake up, so I'll probably do a little bit of work, answer some comments, emails, messages, and so on, then walk my dog, and then maybe something like 10 a.m., 11 a.m., something like that. So yeah, in about, what, like 15 hours? Something like that. So yeah, that should be time. So yeah, should be interesting. Anyways, yeah. Okay. I really do gotta stop. I really can't imagine how do some people stay alive for 12 hours straight. That is pretty insane. Because, yeah. I mean, pleasure to watch. Nice. Yeah, I'm glad you found this interesting, and I hope you're also working in your own games. What's the difference between belt and miner? Missed that part. So yeah, the belt is basically the invisible road. The miner just spawns the object, drops it on the belt, then the belt moves the object from an input onto an output. Then the output can be either a different belt, kind of like this. You got a belt here, you got a belt here. So it transfers from that one into that belt, then from that belt to the other belt, or into the time machine. That's the whole thing. All right. 12-hour stream, because it was way easier than my day job at the time. I guess that's one way to do it. All right, yeah, definitely gotta go rest my voice so I don't stress it too much. You could make game jam, maybe one day, maybe. Anyways, yeah, okay, let me prepare everything. So yeah, just stop this one from running. So yeah, gonna go drink some water and do that. Okay, so everything else seems good, like that. All right, so yeah, thanks for being here. I hope you're also joining the game jam. Hope you're also building something by yourself. And if you're here, then I guess I'll see you tomorrow. All right, so bye everyone, see you tomorrow. Bye bye.